The criminal justice system in America is quietly being exposed as one of the most oppressive and corrupt legal systems in the world. There is another head-scratching case coming out of the state of Texas, which puts its death penalty proceedings back in the limelight. Texas has led the country in executions for many years, and recently a number of death penalty issues have arisen, including evidence that at least one innocent man may have been executed in the state of Texas. The Texas court system is in question presently because it has relied on testimony from PreCogs. That's right, PreCogs. For those who are unfamiliar with what a precog is, let me introduce you to one of the central characters in the Hollywood sci-fi movie Minority Report, which also starred Tom Cruise. Agatha is a precog, a mutated human being with the ability to see into the future. In the fictional movie Minority Report, Agatha worked with two other precogs, and as a team they used their precognition to view crimes that would occur in the future. The information gathered from these visions of future crime is then used to dispatch pre-crime officers to apprehend future criminals and lock them away before they could actually commit the crimes they were predicted to commit by precogs. Apparently, parts of this fictional story may have been based on real occurrences in the state of Texas involving death penalty cases. It is a fact that in capital punishment cases in the state of Texas, precogs have given direct testimony or consulted with lawyers. The American Statesman is reporting that Dr. Richard Coons of Austin, Texas, has testified at dozens of death penalty trials across the state in which he opined about how defendants would behave in the future. Just this year alone, Travis County prosecutors called on and paid Dr. Richard Coons to testify during the sentencing trials of convicted killers Milton Goldberg and Paul DeVoe. Coons pronounced that in his expert opinion, both men would be a future danger. They, of course, received the death penalty. Coons paid testimony at those trials, and others could get new scrutiny after the Court of Criminal Appeals ruled last week in a Waco, Texas death penalty case that Coons' methodology for predicting future dangerousness is not reliable. The fact that future dangerousness is being used as a legal term perhaps presents a present danger to those who find themselves presently accused or convicted of a crime in the state of Texas. Texas death penalty lawyers reportedly for years have fought to persuade courts to stop allowing testimony from precogs. The lawyers say such testimony offers nothing more than opinions. If you're going to be an expert, you should have some scientific basis of what you are testifying about, said Russ Hunt Jr., a Georgetown lawyer. Coons basically just says, "Trust me, I'm a doctor. I know it when I see it." One does not need special mutant abilities to predict whether or not a person may be prone to committing future crimes. As long as society makes it legal to discriminate against convicted felons, making it near impossible for them to legally reside in a family member's home, own or rent housing for themselves, apply for food stamps, find employment, the punishment does not stop. People labeled as felons are further punished by excluding them from civic participation and taking away their right to vote or sit on a jury trial. Millions of individuals are being forced into conditions that make them the perfect candidates to commit future crimes. You do not need to be a precog to predict behavior when you can look at the existing laws which have created in many instances a permanent underclass in America. Richard PreCog Coons says he will not take any more death penalty cases, but one would be compelled to protest if Coons and those like him are allowed to participate in further criminal proceedings. Coons alone has said he has consulted with lawyers in about 150 capital cases and testified at trial in about 50 or more. What is perhaps even more troubling than to find that fiction is being accepted as fact in U.S. courtrooms is the fact that the U.S. Supreme Court ruled back in 1983 in the case Barefoot versus Estelle that psychiatrists are competent to give opinions on the so-called future dangerousness of defendants. Welcome to the world of Minority Report, which at the time of its theatrical release was thought to be a work of fiction. As it turns out, it is really a social commentary on the real world of injustice in the United States of America. This Black Talk Radio News Brief has been brought to you by the Black Talk Radio Network. To find the very best in online black radio, please visit the home for independent black grassroots media at blacktalkradionetwork.com.